Breaking news, The Mandalorian is getting a first-person video game from the same studio that gave us Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor. Now, a lot of questions need to be answered. How far along is this game? Will it be open world like this year's Star Wars Outlaws game? When in The Mandalorian story will this take place? And of course, the biggest question of them all, when will this Mandalorian game be released? All of this and more will be answered by the end of this video. But this just means more great news for Mando fans, as just a few weeks ago, the Mandalorian and Grogu movie was announced. So over the next couple years, fans of the character of Din Djarin and Grogu will be having an all-you-can-eat buffet of Mandalorian content. So this report is coming from Insider Gaming, who is one of, if not the best insider when it comes to video game news. And Star Wars fans have been wanting a Star Wars game where you can play as a Mandalorian for decades, going all the way back to an unfinished George Lucas video game called 1313, where you would play as a Mandalorian in the underworld of Coruscant. And after seeing 3 seasons of The Mandalorian on Disney+, many Star Wars fans would love to play as the character of Din Djarin, going around the galaxy doing bounty hunter missions and looking cool while doing it. But let's get into the details. Who is making this game? One of the best video game studios in the business right now is the same studio that made Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor, and that is Respawn Entertainment. Other than the Jedi games for Star Wars, Respawn has made games like Titanfall or Apex Legends, and as fans of Star Wars, we couldn't have this game be in better hands. A fan favorite character in recent history for the galaxy far, far away is a character by the name of Cal Kestis. He was originally created by Respawn in the game Jedi Fallen Order, and a lot of fans hope that someday he will make the transition from video games to live action. But in this Mandalorian game that is in development at Respawn, we get to see 2 of our favorite characters in Din Djarin and Grogu go from live action to a playable world where we get to control what they do. Now there's the question, when will this be released? Well, from what this report is saying, the Mandalorian game is in early development, and it will likely be a couple years before we get this game. Now that might sound like bad news, but it's not. Because like I said earlier in this video, the Mandalorian and Grogu movie was announced just a few weeks ago, and that movie will release on May 22nd of 2026, just over 2 years from now. And with the 3rd season of The Mandalorian ending last year in 2023, and this Mandalorian and Grogu movie not coming out until 2026, there's a massive gap of over 3 years between projects where we will see the characters of Din and Grogu. So it would make perfect sense to release the Mandalorian first-person shooter game to grow the hype for the characters of Din and Grogu before the release of their movie, because 3 years is a long time. And with the vastness of the Star Wars galaxy, with projects all over the place coming out over the next 2 years, from The Bad Batch to Skeleton Crew to The Acolyte to Tales of the Jedi to Andor Season 2 to Ahsoka Season 2, there's a lot of other stories going on with characters that don't involve Din and Grogu. So this Mando game coming out right before the movie's release, it will allow fans to get back into this world after a 3-year break. But for an actual release date, I'm just purely speculating here, I would say early 2026. Hopefully before the movie comes out so that we can grow the hype around these 2 characters again. But the real question that everybody wants to know is, will this game be open world? Open world Star Wars games have been fans' dreams forever. Getting to go to the galaxy far, far away, play as a character, and just roam free around any planet, Coruscant, Tatooine, Endor, Kamino, any of the planets you want to choose, you can go roam around them freely. Live in the Star Wars galaxy. But in 2023, Respawn gave us the game Jedi Survivor. And this game felt pretty open world for the most part, but there was a lot of limitations. The planets we went to weren't very significant ones in the Star Wars galaxy, and you couldn't explore the whole world. However, this year in 2024, we are getting a game called Star Wars Outlaws. This game will follow Kay Vess, a scoundrel in the underworld of Star Wars, taking place in between Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, and Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. This game is being created by Ubisoft, Ubisoft, not Respawn, and will be fully open world. It'll be like a GTA meets Star Wars type game. However, I don't think this Mando game will be open world. I think it'll be more like the Jedi games. Has a feeling of being sort of open world, but it's not. And it will be similar to the Jedi games in the way you can customize the character. You're always Cal Kestis in Jedi Survivor, but you can really change his hairdo, change his outfit, change his beard, even his lightsaber hilt. You can make your Cal Kestis your own character. I think that will be very similar in this Mando game, where you can change the color of his armor, the style of his armor, which blaster you use. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things that you can customize with this Mando game, but I seriously doubt that it will be open world. Now, as for when this game is going to take place in the Star Wars timeline, it's a little too soon to tell. Is this game just going to be a retelling of the first 3 seasons of The Mandalorian, where you get to play as Din Djarin, discover Grogu, and eventually take down Moff Gideon with everything that happens in between? Or is this game going to take place after The Mandalorian Season 3, where you play as Din Djarin working for the New Republic, going on bounty hunting missions for them, taking down remnants of the Empire with the giant threat of Thrawn looming in the background? Either way, this game is going to be insane. It still is very early on in the development of this game, but this is real, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, after all these years, we are getting a Mandalorian game. And this Star Wars game is going to give us some content with these characters before we get to go see them in the movie theater. But did you know that The Phantom Menace is coming back to the movie theater to celebrate its 25th anniversary? I explain the when, where, and why in this video right here, so don't miss your chance to go see the Duel of the Fates again on the big screen, just like it was always meant to be.